Well, good morning, everybody. It is 7 a.m. Tuesday morning. It's 58 degrees here in sunny Florida. And if any of you are watching this now, you're all ahead of the game because, I'll tell you why. Because you're breathing. You're actually alive. And if you do some of my tips and tricks, you might be not just alive and breathing, but ahead of the game in life and be a lot healthier. So, today, what we're going to discuss is, are you statistically obese or overweight? And what does that mean to your health? It's very important. But first, I have to start out, if you don't mind, and drink my benefits. Whole body shake like I do every morning when I sign on with you guys. And even if I wasn't, I'd be drinking it anyway. Yes, I'm going to have my benefits whole body nutrition shake. Nice dark gelato chocolate. Ah. Oh no. The energy has come about me. Now we're ready to go, aren't we, everybody? That's benefits, whole body nutrition shake. Read something about it. I developed it for me to drink every day so that I am ahead of the game. Anyway, let's enough with that. Here we go. So, are you clinically, statistically obese, or are you just overweight? And what does this mean to your health? Well, check this out. There's a study that's just been released. Maybe no one's ever seen it yet, but I get this information before most people do. So, there was a study that tracked the weight and the survival of more than 6,000 Americans for 24 years. Now, that's a pretty substantial study, isn't it? 6,000 people, tracking them for 24 years to see what the weight versus survival of more than 6,000 people. And what does this mean to you, right? So let's break right into it, all right? So what does being obese mean, clinically obese? Well, let me explain that to you. And what is overweight? Okay, let's start with simple overweight. If you're overweight, it means that you're weighing more than you should for your bone structure and for your height, correct? So let's say you're overweight. That's simple overweight. Statistical obesity, or being statistically obese, means that you fall within a scientific parameter that determines if you're obese, and then that determines how that affects your survival rate in a 24-year period, or over 24 years. And by the way, most people that were statistically obese were not, won't make it to 20. The odds of dying within 24 years are very significant. So you should all know that. If anybody's here this morning, if anybody's up this morning, look, you got a life here. Get up and enjoy it and get involved. So if anybody's here, let me know. If nobody's here, whatever, you can watch it later. Some of you might be in the shower. Some of you might be sitting on the porcelain bowl. That's a good thing, though. And some of you might be getting ready for work. So anyway, this study tracked the weight and survival of more than 6,000 Americans for 24 years. Now, what did we find out? We found out that piling on excessive pounds can lead to an early grave. And why is that? Well, because the weight is one thing, but then all of these symptoms occur, right? So, from epidemics of hypertension, diabetes, osteoporosis, heart disease, cardiovascular deaths, and strokes. These are all symptoms of obesity. Now, right? Now, I'm going to get more into what obesity is, because everybody that thinks obesity is a big, heavy, fat person, well, think again, because that's not really the case. It doesn't mean that you're, Waldo the walrus or whatever it is, right? So an excessive weight stretches every major system in your body. Your heart has to pound a lot harder. It has to pump a lot harder just to get the blood and the oxygen that it needs to send it to the brain. The weight that's on top of this heart is immense. That's very dangerous. Your knees, your thighs, your back, your spine, all of these things can be impacted and will be impacted by too much weight. It affects the heart, like I said, from pumping. Cholesterol and blood pressure rises because the body's working that much harder to pump blood through the stream. Clogging and hardening of the arteries. Increased risk of stroke. Increased male hormones in women. Now, increased male hormones in women is going to make you grow hair. So some women that might think that they're starting to get a little mustache, you better think about that a little bit, because maybe that's why you're growing hair, because you have increased male hormones because you're overweight. You know, this is in women anyway. And also there's a huge risk of heart disease, right? So now it also, being overweight will make you insulin resistant. And that means you're on your way to diabetes, type 2 diabetes. You'll have sleep disorders, sleep apnea, and we talked about that the other day, right? You'll have drop in oxygen levels in the bloodstream, which makes the heart have to work harder, which deprives the brain, which really is not good for the whole body, okay? So these are just these things that you got to watch out. Osteoporosis, hip problems, back problems. So if anybody thinks that just that you're getting away with it, you know, being lazy about this, if you really want to live a productive and happy life, if you want to be involved and engaged in life, and my God, all those things that I just outlined, think about this. Isn't it much easier to take like a shake, like Benefit's Whole Body Shake every day, to mitigate a lot of this stuff and to keep your weight in check and to nourish your organs and get them all up to speed, working in tandem? Because once they're all working in tandem, that weight goes away. There's no big trick or secret other than that, right? So sometimes people become more comfortable with the pain and the limited lifestyle that they have, as opposed and thinking that getting healthier is more work than being ill or having these maladies or these symptoms or dying. Golly, come on. So statistical obesity, like I said earlier, is different than being simply overweight. All right? Now I'll explain to you why. Statistical obesity has to deal with BMI, body mass index. So if your body mass index is between 30 and 34, with 30 being the statistical threshold for obesity. So in other words, if your BMI, if your body mass index is above 30, is 30 or above, you are statistically or clinically considered to be obese. So for example, if you have a 5'4" person weighing 175 pounds and has a BMI of 30, they're obese. Okay? Now, you know, when we think of obesity, right, we have to get these images out of our head because they could be misconceived. And so when we say that a person's obese, we always think of an enormous person, right? Well, not necessarily so. So now, have you heard of anorexia, correct? Now, when you see the picture of an anorexic, what do you see? You see skin and bones, right? That's pretty much what you see. Well, they're clinically obese because their BMI is off the charts. Why is that? Because body mass index, your BMI, and I'll tell you why. Because an anorexic starves themselves to death. The body begins to eat its own lean muscle mass. When your lean muscle mass drops below your fat content, that's where your BMI starts to rise. Okay? So a person that's anorexic actually is obese, even though the picture doesn't fit the definition of what the pictorial of being obese would be, or being overweight, right? So you get that? So if your BMI is over 30 or above, you are statistically obese. All right? Now, the risk of dying young in this study was also higher for very obese people with a BMI of 35 to 39. They have nearly double the odds of dying within the 24 years compared to people with a normal weight. You get my point now? So if your BMI is between 35 and 39, one, if you're at 30, you're going to start to see a bunch of complications arise. Okay? So you're going to have problems with your knees, problem with your back, problem with everything. But, okay, so that's that. Now, there's a link between obesity and also the risk of many cancers. We've found links to obesity and cancer, many different types of cancer. So that's another reason not to be overweight or obese, okay? So being overweight, now this is the interesting part. Here's a light in the tunnel. Here's some pretty good news, okay? Because we all have different bone structures. We all have different body masses. We all have different lifestyles. We all are shaped differently. So, what is the definition of fat, obese, overweight? Some people are naturally heavier than other people, and that's not so bad. So here's the good news. Being overweight, but not past the BMI, body mass index, of the 30 threshold for obesity, did not seem to affect anyone's lifespan. So in other words, even if you're a bit overweight and not clinically obese, which means your BMI is 30 or above, but if you're a bit overweight and your BMI is still below 30, in this study, 24 years, 6,000 people, it didn't seem to affect your lifespan. So that's good news, right? So we should take that and really realize that that's a good aspect of it. So there's a few little things that you can do to really keep your weight in check. And that is, your morning is so important to you. It is so important because your body's metabolizing and processing all of the things you eat from the prior day. And we went over that, digestion and all that, and how long it takes to go through the intestines, the large intestines, the small intestines. So it's almost like a 24-hour period. Well, in the morning when you wake up, your body has processed all the things you have digested from the day before. And it's ready, if not already, to evacuate whatever you've ingested. So in the morning, those soldiers are ready to take a repose and take a little break. But now, here you go. You're going to go to Starbucks. You're going to get that coffee and screw up your nervous system. You're going to get those bagels and those waffles and those muffins and all that other stuff. And now you're putting this into your body and you're creating a new cycle of digestion. So is it no wonder that by 11 o'clock in the morning, you're having a fall off and you're starting to feel lethargic or tired or hungry again? Well, that comes from you eating volumes of stuff in the morning, because your body doesn't need volume, it needs nutrition, and it needs to go to cell level, and when it goes to cell level, that's when you're getting the maximum benefit of nutrition. So it doesn't come in the form of all this volume. Besides, how much nutrition is there in a bagel and cream cheese? How much nutrition is in a Starbucks coffee? How much nutrition is in a waffle? How much nutrition are you really getting? Your body needs a comprehensive nutritional program every single morning. That will help you burn fat. That will help you lose weight. That will give you the energy to keep going, which continues to create this thermal effect that continues, that's thermogenic in that sense. And you're creating that just with your own body. So this is what you have to really think about. And that's why, I take Benefits Whole Body Shake every single morning. Look at me. I mean, I don't really do that much exercise-wise. I maintain my weight. It stays that way. But I'm giving my body the nutrition that I need. This is not a protein shake, by the way. You've got 16 grams of pea protein. It's all vegetarian, this whole thing, by the way. It's physician's grade, the top of the line, raw materials. I don't use junk just to put in a bottle. But you're going to get that nutrition. What's so hard to understand about that? It's a no-brainer, man. Look what I do. I come online. I do my little thing that I do here every day to hopefully provide value to everyone here. And I drink my drink. It takes, 30 seconds to drink it. It takes 15 seconds to put it in a magic bullet, 30 seconds, so a minute and a half. Who cannot afford to do that? Okay, so here's the other thing. Now, what are we going to do next? So if you get that right, if you can keep your BMI below 30, no matter what your weight is, within reason, doesn't seem to want to affect your lifespan. But being overweight will add pressure to those joints, to your knees, to your back, to your heart. All those other things still come in play. But a BMI over 30 seems to impact severely someone's lifespan. Now, the other day, by the way, I asked everyone, and thank you everybody for responding and taking a guess at it. I asked everyone, what is the number one cause of premature death in America today? And there's been a lot of those answers came in, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to do that tomorrow and let you know. And whoever got it right first is going to get a bottle of Benefits Whole Body Nutrition Shake absolutely free. Not bad, right? If that's one way to get you started, if your guesses are good, if you got one, all I need is one person to have one good guess, and I get to send them a free bottle. Isn't that fantastic? So I hope you found this to be of value. Remember, I can't send this out to everybody because Facebook has their rules. They don't let me do it. So please make your comments. Right after I do this video, it'll go public. So both of you from Facebook and YouTube, please make comments, subscribe, like, whatever you got to do, hearts, thumbs up, whatever, if you find value in this. And share with all your friends because this might be information that they need. And by the way, when it comes from a third party, they may be more likely to accept and receive that information rather than coming from, like sometimes, if I'm, trying to tell somebody I know very well, like, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to hear it. But this is what you have to do. There's no escape from this life except death. Everyone seems to be so consumed with wanting to live forever that they forget that life is today, and they miss living today. And look at all the things that many people are missing. Do not wait until something hits you in the back of the head with an ailment or a disease or a pain or something like that may indeed cripple you. Please, please, please be proactive. Work in the preventive modality because it's a lot easier to prevent diseases and maladies and these other things. Because look, if you think, I don't have to do anything. My knees hurt a little bit, but who cares? Until you're laying on a table and you're getting a replacement knee replacement surgery or hip replacement surgery or ankle surgery or any other kind of surgery. If you think surgeries are good for you and that anesthesia that you're going to have to take and then the recovery from all that and then the physical therapy, if that's a lot easier than just taking a little bit of a something like this every single day to help mitigate all that stuff, well, then I don't know what to say. But let's all be happy. This is my thing for today. I thank you all for tuning in. And remember, share, share, share. And remember, you have to take responsibility for your health. And you're the one that has to actually make those moves and make determinations and do it all. And by the way, with this stuff, you don't need a multivitamin because there's a full spectrum multivitamin in it. Do what I ask you to do. I'm only here to help you. God bless you all and have a great Tuesday and stay warm wherever you are if it's cold. Stay cool if it's too hot somewhere where you are. And remember this, no matter what, just smile and laugh. And sometimes it's great to laugh at yourself. I laugh at myself every day. Anyway, Godspeed everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye now. See you tomorrow.